Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk about being black in Asia. I was gonna say like Korea, but then I changed it to Asia because I feel like it's kind of been the same since I've been in like Japan and Korea. You know, some of the things I've heard, some of the things, I try to ask so I can figure out like why people treat like black people the way they do, I guess, when they go to like Asia or in Asia, and why people look toward more of a like fair skin than dark skin, and stuff like that. But starting off, if you've been watching me for some time, you know that I've been in Asia for a couple of years now. First, I ventured out to Japan, and before I ventured out to Japan, a lot of the Japanese people that I met were like, you shouldn't go to Japan. People are not as nice as you think they'll be, and so forth. You're not going to make as many friends and all that because they're not really too accepting of black people, I guess, or foreigners in general. But to me, like going like to Japan in the beginning, like I guess I was just so hyped to just go abroad because the one thing I wanted to do is travel the world. I want to get to know as many different people as I can, and become close with a lot of different people around the world because that's just, I don't know, a dream that I come to have toward the end of my year in university, and that's why I came to Japan, or that's why I went to Japan to begin with, because it's like that's the first place that I want to go. I was listening to a lot of Japanese music, so I'm like, I gotta learn Japanese, so let's put that as like the first like what trip on our bucket list of things to do, places to travel to, people to meet, and all that. So it didn't really like sway me from going to Japan. As you know, I lived in Japan for about 2 to 3 years, so I was there for some time, but it was very hard, and there's things that like I learned while I was in Japan. One being that like generally nobody wants to sit next to you on a train because you're black or whatever, and it's just like, okay, I never really asked anybody in Japan like why nobody wants to sit next to you, in a train, because like also it wasn't just black people that would see it. It was also just foreigners in general, or that's what I was like, I would see or I would hear. So I was just like, okay, it seems like it's kind of like an everybody thing. So I'm like, it's kind of like, okay, but then like every once in a while other things would happen, like I would go walking. I used to walk every day. I would go walking for some time, and like a few times like I'll pass people, and like they'll like bring in their purse, and I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna like take your stuff if that's what you think. Like, I'm just here to do my daily walk. I do this like every day, always here at the same time if you want to see if I usually come through here, but like even that, like that kind of stuff, that it was just a little bit about that. Okay, whatever, but then it was like in Japan it was like getting stopped by the cops and so forth, that kind of like threw that like to a different level, because I didn't expect any of that to happen because it never happened to me before. But then I was hearing that that was common to get stopped or whatever by cops, but like that for me was a lot, because for me, like coming from America, like you see all this stuff about like black people getting shot or like arrested or beat up or something for like no reason or whatever. But for some reason, I guess I was not scared. I wasn't like aware that something would happen to me, or maybe I just assumed that it wouldn't. I still didn't, I don't know, like I feel like I really didn't still sense like a difference in my skin color, maybe, or like because maybe it's because I was just around people. Nobody seemed to care. I mean, growing up, all my friends were Hispanic, but that's because I took a lot of advanced placement classes, and the only people that were in there were Hispanic people. So, I mean, I'm Hispanic too, if you want to put it like that too. But like all of that stuff that didn't really like phase me or whatever, like skin color or whatever, and like nobody ever talked about that. And honestly, I was like the only black person there. Like there was one other black girl, but I was the only black person in that class, and like none of that stuff ever like got to me. Nobody ever brought up anything like that, or anything of that kind of sort. So I never really like experienced it to the degree of going to Japan first, and then feeling and being like the only black person in like the town that I was in, or a city, whatever. But like all of that was just like okay, but like it didn't bother me. But then you would notice certain things like kids would be like, "Why is your hair like that?" And it'll like throw me off because I'm like, "Wait, why would you ask me why is my hair like that?" But then it didn't really dawn on me that I was in a different place, and I guess everybody's hair is straight and mine's is curly, you know. But then I'm just like, huh, it's just kind of weird to me because I was like, I wonder how come like nobody like talks about it or like the difference in people. Like not everybody's the same. Like I feel like a lot of different places want different people to come over for tourism because tourism is like one of the biggest ways to make money around the world, but why don't they like I don't know, like go over I guess like what people look like. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm from America and we don't really have to have a class on that because everybody is different in the classroom and so forth. But like I don't know, I would assume that like they would go over something like that. I mean, I'll talk about this more later, but like they go over other things. So I'm just like, why not that? Like, why, like, I don't know, the anatomy of like different races or whatever, what to expect, or, what you can see, the difference in people, especially if like the country is just like 99% like just Asian or something like that. Like, I don't know. So that kind of like, but it was like, I would go over it. I'd be like, well, like generally African American people or just African people, whatever, or other people in general, because there's other people that have curly hair. But I'm like, there's a difference, your hair is like straight to like extremely curly, and they be like, oh, and then they want to touch it all that. I'm like, okay, too much, no touch it, But I just got it done. But all that stuff was like new to me because like I never had anybody ask me like, oh, why is your hair curly when I was in like elementary school or something, and anything like that when I lived in America. So like everything was just new to me, and then getting stopped by the cops and all that stuff is like, that's where it made it seem like, wow, this is kind of similar to like America, because I've been stopped like 4 times. It was like 3 times, and that was just because I was in the station, like trying to find my way out of the station or home because the station was too big or whatever, and then getting searched or whatever and all that. And I'm like, wow, like this is crazy, And then the last one for like like a misunderstanding with a ticket where I was trying to like ask for help because I was coming to Korea, but at the time a lot of people didn't know that. And I was trying to figure out like how I can get stuff done while I was in Japan, and I got everything done, but like there was a misunderstanding, and then I ended up getting a ticket, and I was trying to tell them, but it's like they didn't want to hear what I had to say, and then they just brought in like all these cops, and they were surrounding me and stuff, and I'm just like, this is kind of crazy because it was like a misunderstanding, and I came to ask for help yesterday, and then I got a ticket outside, but I didn't really know where to park, that's why I came and asked, and then that led to like people like just like crowding around me, and then they were taking all my stuff and like showing it to everybody, and I'm like, this seems like it's getting like a little bit dangerous. Like, am I about to go to jail? Like, I just came to get help, like all that stuff. And then that's like, honestly, for me in Japan, that was like one of my breaking points. Like I would never say I hate Japan or whatever. I mean, because I still love Japanese music. It's one of the things I listen to the most. And I may go back someday, who knows, but like that really, it's like it just never happened to me before, so that made me feel like, wow, like you got to be careful like where you go, because I'm like, I really don't want to be in jail in a different country, like, and I'm like, I don't even know how we even got this far, and then leaving all that, because I'm just like, okay, I think I need like a change of scenery, and I wanted to come to Korea for some time. But like even that, like just knowing about Korea before I even came, because I had Korean friends too, which told me the same thing that my Japanese friends told me about going to Japan. Like, why would you want to go to Korea? I want to live in America. Why would you want to go to Korea? Koreans are not the best. A lot of them are racist and so forth. But like for me, it's different, because like I still wanted to experience the world. I still want to go out. I still do. I still want to meet different people, and I want to do it for myself. That's why I left. America. Because I know everything is different outside of America, and like I just want to see why is there a difference? What's different about the world? What can I figure out? What can I learn from the world? What can I learn from other people? And at the same time, I do hope that people learn, about me, and just see that like it's not what you think or like based on like media and stuff like that. Because like, I came here, I was like, I'm gonna still do it, and even that was hard because like it wasn't as hard to go to Japan to find a job, but like being black and coming to Korea is a different story, especially if you're a guy, because majority of the jobs want girls. And then if they, if you're not a girl, then usually it's probably down like a long street of like starting from like white to like going down to like black being last, And I applied to a lot of different people. I applied to so many different recruiters and all that stuff, and out of all of them, only two took me. And this is my second time actually applying to come to Korea. I applied a few years ago with my Korean friend at the time, who we were going to come together, but I didn't come with her. But like even it was hard back then, and she even she told me about it and all that. Like it's going to be hard because Koreans can be and I'm just like, okay, but like I want to experience the world, and we tried, couldn't get in. And then I tried again this time, and then finally, two people like said like okay, kind of, and gave me a job. So I was like, okay, this is it. This is a chance. Like, so bye bye Japan. Let's come to Korea, and even coming to Korea, I already knew some stuff. I did research. I mean, like just knowing that being black is harder to get teaching job or whatever in Korea already sparked that from a long time ago, and like all the things that you can read online about teaching in Korea and just how bad teaching in Korea is, as a lot of people have written online because of Hagwon's closing down, or they're not paying you, or what you get in trouble because of the kids, because they want you to teach them how they want you to teach them, so the parents get mad and like all that kind of stuff. I knew all that coming in, and then I knew that it'd be a little bit hard because I'm black, and I don't know, I always just hope that it'll be different, like I can change something, I can make something better than what it is. But then I came here, and then I do meet a lot. I do meet some, I won't say a lot, I do meet some nice people here and there, like people that help me on the streets. If you watch some of my vlogs, there's been people that helped me and Charlotte together when we were vlogging and so forth, like trying to, I don't know, like just having that keen interest to try to use some English that they knew or whatever. And that, in my initial reaction to coming here, was like amazing, because I'm just like, wow, like she didn't have to do that and she did that. Like that's something that I would expect from somebody in America too. If you ask for help, usually people will help you, or hopefully they will. Not saying it's perfect, but I got that too. But then there's also the other things that I've encountered that I haven't talked about. One being sitting on a train too, just like in Japan. But it's different actually. It's more being black than it is being foreign, because like me, like I can sit on the train, I can sit down and nobody will sit next to me. I could watch other people sit next to like other people, like white people or something like that. And I'm like, okay, but then like for me, it didn't really bother me as much, because I'm just like, I'm sitting here, I'm just studying Korean anyway, so that's what I'm going to do for the next hour while I'm on a train. I mean, I don't care if you sit next to me or not, but I guess it's the thing behind it from like watching things, like from like maybe like Sam, who's like one of the most famous black guys in Korea right now, and like Asian Boss, and like how Koreans view black people. That made me kind of like change a bit, because I didn't really care at first, but then seeing that stuff, it made me like think like, wow, like that's kind of like messed up, you know, because like you don't want to sit next to me because you say that I was or black people were slaves back in the day, so they're dirty and stuff like that. And I'm just like, wow, that's kind of crazy because that's like something that happened a long time ago, and you're still like trying to say like that's the reason why black people, you know, are not so good of people. That's why you don't want to sit next to them because that's going to rub off on you. I don't think somebody being a bad person could really rub off on you unless you wanted to be bad, you know? But it's like all that, and I was just like, wow, like that's, you know, crazy to me, you know? But then like it's like the thing of like sometimes some people will even like sit next to me, right? But like they'll sit on like the edge of their chair like this. So I'm sitting here and they're sitting on the edge of their chair because they didn't want to sit there to begin with, but they wanted to sit down. So they sit on the edge of their chair like waiting for somebody else to get up on the other side. And then as soon as somebody gets up, they like jump out their chair real quick and run over there. And it's like at first you would think like, okay, maybe they're just not, they're, you know, maybe they just don't want to sit down or something. So that's why everybody's just standing up, you know. They don't want to sit next to me because, you know, they've been sitting down like all day. They work all day, you know. They just want to stand up. But then when you see stuff like that, then you're just like, do you think I'm going to like snatch you and run outside the door? Like, who would do that? Like, would I really just like pick you up and take you out this like train real quick? Like, I don't understand. And like having it happen like once or something, I guess, but like it happens a few times, and like for me, I'm just like, wow, that's like crazy, because it's like you really think I'm about to snatch you or something, and I don't know what I would do if I snatched you. What would I do if I snatched you? Okay, that's going to a different story because people don't really care what happens to other people in Korea. So I guess if I did something to you outside, nobody would stop anyway. So, but like that, like I was just like, wow, that's crazy. Like I'm really that bad to sit next to, you know? And I'm just like, I just don't understand why like black people have come this far and they've done so much, you know, like for music, for dance, you know, hip hop choreography, jazz, blues, and pop and all that stuff that brought it to this level. But like they're still just remembered by like being slaves a long time ago and being dirty, I guess, because they were slaves and being lower than humans and all that stuff. But then everybody uses, you know, stuff like, you know, music or like hip hop choreography. Like we have to have those inside of our dance, you know, and then we have to, you know, sing with that. We have to have that blues or, you know, all this stuff. And then like it just like dawned on me, like, why isn't anybody think about like those good things, you know? Like when I met people in Japan, everybody talked about how bad Koreans were. Obviously a lot of them, you know, because of, you know, the war and so forth and all that stuff, and what Japan did but say they didn't do or whatever, you know, all that stuff. And then like coming here and then, you know, Koreans saying how bad Japanese people are and how they hate them and all this stuff, you know. And I'm just like, okay, you know, but like it's like every place I went to, everybody wanted me to be sympathetic to like their cause or whatever, and why they hate other people and all that stuff, or why Koreans are bad, or why Japanese people are bad and all that stuff. But then like at the same time, the same people are like mean to black people, you know, or, you know, treat black people bad. And I'm like, you're like talking about other people and how bad they are, but then you do bad things to other people too. So like I don't understand how I'm supposed to feel sympathetic to what you're doing right now when you don't even treat me better. And like I honestly, if you know me or if you've been around me, if you hung out with me, I mean, if you just see me around, like I'm usually smiling, I'm happy, I'm like singing and dancing around because I'm just crazy. I just don't even know why. But like I'm doing that. Like honestly, one day there was this lady that was sitting in the rain because it did say it was gonna rain that day. I don't know why she didn't have an umbrella, but I even like I just saw her sitting at the light. I just went up to her with the umbrella and she was like and then she was like so happy, you know, and she was like thank you. And then she kept saying like, "Oh, I'm such a good friend," and all that stuff, obviously in Korean and all that stuff. And she's like, "I made a good friend today," and all that, you know. And like I took her like to her house, you know, and she said thank you and all that stuff, you know, and I was like, "Yeah, you're welcome," you know. And she's like, "I made a good friend," and she just kept saying it as she walked away, and like all of that. And then it makes me happy because I'm like, wow, she like really loved what I did. But then like I see like how I'm treated like every day, and then I'm like, wow, like how many things would I have to do for like all of Korea to like me, to like black people? Like have to carry a lot of umbrellas, you know, and might have to let it rain like every once in a while, like out of nowhere, you know. But I'm just like all the like I feel like I can do so much good, but it's still not be enough to change people's opinion on black people or how they view me, you know. The whole wait, but I do have one good thing. The one good thing that people say is I'm attractive. So it's like that helps me. That helps me because I'm attractive. So I'm like, okay, you know, I heard that in Japan, I heard that in Korea. So I'm like, okay, I'm glad that I at least have that one good feature is that at least I'm attractive. I guess because that helps. You're black, but at least you're attractive. You know, at least you're an attractive black guy. At least you work out. You know. Because everybody likes my body in Korea or whatever, you know, especially when I'm in the shower and people tell me all the time. But like all that stuff, it's just like I I would have to go like out of my way to do so much good and it probably still not be enough to change people's opinion on black people. But then when I meet people, everybody wants me to be sympathetic to their cause or sympathetic to like who they hate or whatever. And I'm like, at this point in time, like honestly, like for me, I'm just trying to be happy. I'm just trying to meet good people and just have fun, just experience the world, learn about different cultures, learn different languages, you know. And I know it's gonna be a struggle. I just was hoping that it wasn't this big of a struggle, I guess, you know. And I just, you know, I still hope every day that somebody would be different from the last. You know, and there's so much variable, especially being in Korea compared to Japan. Japan, I knew Japanese, so I was able to talk more with people. Korea, I'm like this. I more understand things than I'm actually being able to talk because I don't talk too much. But you know, like just understanding stuff. You know, that could kind of be a turn. I mean, I met this guy in Japan that said like, but he was white. He was a white guy. He's like, he's the one thing he said that was good about him not knowing Japanese while he was in Japan is because he knew people were saying bad things about him, but since he didn't understand it, like it didn't bother him because he didn't understand it. So it's just like, maybe they're not, but he kind of knew. He said that they were, but it didn't bother him, you know. And then like. I was like, I guess, you know, I guess it's kind of like more being oblivious, I guess, because you know, but you don't want to know, maybe. And then, like, being here, you know, I was taking a shower one time, and everybody stares at my body all the time. So, like, I'm used to it or whatever. And I took a shower, and then I came out, and obviously they were still staring at my body, too, like, younger guys, maybe, like, their 20s or whatever. And then, like, one before he left, he was like, oh, but I don't like his hair or something. And like I laughed and then like they both looked at me because I'm guessing like they just didn't know that I understood what they said or what he said, and the other guy agreed anyway. But I was just like, wow, you know, like I have a good body but like you just hate my hair. And I was like, that's nice, thank you, I guess. But then you stare at my body all the time. I'm just like, okay. And I'm just like, I don't know. It's been crazy. I don't know. Still hoping that I don't know something will change. That people will I don't know see something better in black people. Maybe someday. Hopefully soon. You know, and like at least like think about the good that they have done. Don't just base it off of media. And oh, black people even play slaves in movies, or oh, they always have a gun because that's a common thing for people to ask me too in Korea and Japan, like, do I have a gun? And I'm like, where would I get a gun from? Like, where am I gonna get a gun from? Like, seriously, where am I gonna get that from? If you can't get a gun, where am I gonna get one from? You know, I'm like, come on, like, really? You know, and like, you know, or do you have this? Or do, and I mean, even being on like, I don't know, any of the social medias, like my hair when I had twists, do you have weed? No, 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 I don't. Thanks for trying to start a message with me. I guess I'm this literally just says I'm looking for friends. No, I'm not selling weed. Like, you know, like all that stuff. And it happens so many times. And then they block me, obviously, because you can't buy weed or whatever. But like, I'm just like, come on. Like, you know, like just seeing those little things, like don't assume that everybody does it. Don't assume that every black person does that or whatever. You know, people tell me about, you know, the thing about Korean people and how like a lot they say they want to be friends, but then they kind of disappear. They start talking to you for 2 seconds and then they disappear. You know, I've said it about like 2 or 3 people that I've met, but honestly, up until this point now, I have met and talked to like over 100 different people, and they all did the same thing. You know, and like my friends still want me to keep an open mind. They don't want me to associate other Koreans with them. They say how bad other Koreans are, you know, and how the society is, but they said like, you know, just even had a discussion with my friend about it the other day, but he's like, please don't like associate that with me. Please don't bring that up with me because it makes him feel like he's not doing the best or whatever for me. And you know, all of that, for it's not even like that. You know, it's like I don't think all Koreans are bad. Obviously, I mean, it is hard when you're meeting so many people and they all do the same thing. You know, like everybody starts a conversation and it's something they don't like. Like real quick, I use too much Korean, or what? I don't know. I don't live close enough, or I guess they get tired after 2 seconds of talking because maybe I don't. You know, they wanted something and I wasn't giving what they wanted, you know, which was kind of the same thing in Japan too. So it's like, I don't really associate it with everybody, but at the same time, for me, like at this point, like it's been really hard to like, you know, because then you meet people and they want you to just be friends. And it's like, it's hard to just say that you're going to be somebody's friend because like, I don't want to think that you're going to leave. I really don't. But at the same time, since it's happened so many times, it's like, will he leave? Will she leave? You know, like, and all that, you know. And that even brings up the more struggle with the people that I am getting close with, because it's like, they know what's happened to me in Korea. They know about stuff in Japan and all that stuff, and they just don't want me to associate that with them. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not trying to, like, I'm really trying to move past it. I mean, it's gonna take some time, I guess, because I feel like even like as I'm talking to you, it still happens. Random people message me, oh, I want to be friends or whatever, and then 2 seconds later they're gone, you know, and all that stuff, you know. And I still experience like different stuff every day while I'm just walking around that, you know, just makes me have to think about things like a second time, like, wow, wait, did that happen because of this, you know? And you know, I'm still progressing, just trying to do everything the best I can, and just, you know, just maintain that hope that, you know, more people will, I don't know, be better than the last person, you know. That's the only thing I can really hope for. And that hopefully like soon, like at least people will know black people for like the good that they've done, more than like, oh, they used to be slaves, or oh, they used to do this, or, you know, or below people or whatever. Because there's a lot of things that I would assume would make other people, you know, lower, you know, because of maybe like war and all that stuff, and like being under the rule of other people and stuff like that. But like, I don't associate that with them or anything like that. I don't think that makes them lower, you know. So, you know, just don't do the same to me, you know, or to other people. Just, I don't know, be a better person. Everybody should just be good. Okay, my friend tells me about this whole, there needs to be some bad with the good, or at least more people should be good. I just feel like lately I've just been meeting more like not so good people compared to like good people. So I just hope that changes soon. If you were waiting for the one thing about size, yeah, that's still a thing here. Everybody asks me, or they just check me out in the shower if I'm in the shower at the gym. So I mean, that's still a thing here. Actually, I learned what penis is the other day because somebody asked me like in a message, and then obviously, is it big or whatever, and then my friend saw that, my Korean friend, because he came over and he's like, when did you learn this? I'm like, somebody actually just messaged that. He's like, that's bad. Who did that? And I was just like, honestly, this is not the first time. I get those messages all the time, you know. So just like, you know, whatever. At this point, I just don't answer those messages really. But yeah, that is pretty much everything up into this point. I think if anything else happens or so forth, or if I encounter anything new, I'll bring that up later. But yeah, I don't know. The only thing I can do is just hope for the best, and just hope for better people as I'm moving forward in my adventure, because I'll be here for some time at least. I do want to go to school next year, so I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe learning Korean a lot more, so going to school will open up more doors. I guess we'll see. And then at that point I can really determine if it's different from Japan, or if it's kind of the same. But yeah, that's it. This was a long vlog. It's been a long time since we have one of these. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye. You're still here? Thanks for watching the video until the end. Please don't forget to check out the description box below for info on my friends that were in the video.
Hi!
Product links, my other social media platforms, and my new product designer. If you guys love the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to comment, because I really love reading and writing back to comments that fans leave. And thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.